So Lorna, why do you care?
I care because I've had two lovely kids who've had a very fortunate upbringing. It's not been the case for all of my family. Um, and not necessarily, fostering isn't always because people treat their children badly. Sometimes there are other reasons. And I've had family that have had to put their child into foster care for a short period of time. And that's not because they've been neglected. It's because of other circumstances. And so that was partly the reason. I worked in a secondary school for 14 years with disadvantaged children in the area that I worked in. And you could see a lot of children that suffered. And we had a lot of children that were looked after as well. And I just wanted to make a difference, really. Felt like I could give back. We've got a nice family home in a nice area with good schools. And it was just a chance to give back, really.
Exactly. I think I've spoken to a few of our carers, and a lot of them have said like that's what they want to do. They want to give back because they see these children that are in, unfortunate circumstances or not being treated well, and they want to help them.
Yeah, I've had, I've been in school where I've got kids where they've cut a hole in their shoe so their toe can poke out because they don't fit, or you find out that they're actually cooking the evening meals for everybody and they're 11, or they're stealing bags from the shop so they can put some lunch in it, or they don't have any lunch and they're sitting, you get down to it and they're actually eating a bit of steak because they've got no food for the day. And it's, those children, I think, that makes you sort of think, no, I could help a child like that. You see, I think, in working in a school, you see a lot of neglected children and you try and help those kids. Through the system, we help as much as we can. But there's lots of children needing homes and you think, well, maybe I could help with that.
And that's exactly what you do. You do help them. And we must see when you show that, you show that you've noticed them, you show that you want to help them. I'm sure that they're very, appreciative of that.
A lot of the kids, when you're working in a school, quite often the kids gravitate towards you because they know that you care. And sometimes those kids don't have anybody to talk to or feel that anybody that does care about them. You get so many kids that say, I don't matter, my person who looks after me, because it's not necessarily a parent, they say that I'm never going to amount to anything and I'm no good and I'm rubbish at everything. And it's trying to build their self-confidence in themselves and that they do matter and that they are special, no matter how, some kids are so downtrodden that they don't think they're ever going to amount to anything. And it's giving them, the skills to realise that, actually they can. And it's those things, I think, that really drove me, because I think you see a lot working in a school, and you see a lot of disadvantaged children, depending on if you know where you're working, what school you're working in. And I think a lot of it was that, plus having family members that have had to use the system because of different reasons. Like I say, you feel like you can make a difference.
You want to see that child, grow and mature and become the best person that they can be. And what's it like when you see a child, when you first meet them, to if you said you worked in a school or as a foster carer, when you first met them to how they were maybe a year, 2 years later, when you see that impact you've had?
It's like you get kids that sometimes say, I'm never going to do any good. I know my dad won't be proud of me, or I'm never going to be enough. I'm never going to be good enough. And you turn around and you say to that child, well, actually, do you know what? I'm really proud of you. You didn't do the best in your test, but guess what? You improved for you. Doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. You made progress. So you've done well. And it's like that sense of pride in themselves that they don't get because they are not achieving what is classed as the standard. for children at their age. And so they never get any praise at home because they see them as failures. And those children need that to progress. And so it's really nice when you see that sort of grin come across their face when they've made a 1% increase in their maths test, but they're still well below the average, national average. But actually, they've made progress. And you're like, I'm so proud of you. And you can see that like the whole body language changes as to say, oh, someone's proud of me, you know, and that's a real, like, that makes you sort of well up inside. And when you get a card from these kids they've written to you and they can hardly write, and they've written you a card that's really badly spelled, and they say, thank you so much for helping with my spelling, and it's not spelled right. But that's an achievement for them to be able to actually write that in the first place without help. So, you know, it's the little steps for these kids. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, oh, I'm achieving what I'm expected to for my age or whatever. Is they're achieving what is right for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Achievement is I think that's one of the things that a lot of people need to realize about especially in fostering. Achievement isn't, okay, you need to be here. It's here's where you are and here's where you've got to.
Yeah.
An achievement is where they've been to where they are, not where they're supposed to be.
Yeah. So like within fostering, for example, I've had a child that came in with certain aspirations. And by the time they left, they had higher aspirations for themselves. And it was opening doors of where they were able to go that they couldn't see because, you know, they were blinded by their situation or by what they've been fed in terms of, you know, where they can be. And it's giving them, you know, letting them see what's available out there. The world's a bigger place than they realise. And actually, this is what you could achieve. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to do this. And say you don't like that. It's a learning curve. It's not about, oh, if I go to college and I do this and I fail at it, that's it, I failed. Well, no, college is there to find out what you do and you don't like. And then you can still go on to choose something else and then take a different direction. That's what education is about. It's educating yourself about what you want to do. It's giving them those doors, making them realise that it opens doors. It doesn't give them the job. It doesn't give them the career path they're going to take. It opens up doors which lead to other doors.
Exactly.
And yeah, that sort of side of things is quite rewarding to see kids that maybe didn't have great higher expectations for themselves and to see them change in terms of what they expect from what they could achieve is quite nice.
Excellent. Thank you.